Okay, now it
She's
is.
recording us.
Okay.
I'm herring impaired.
Okay. So my name's Haley, and this is my community advocacy speech about school lunch programs, and it's called Keeping Our Future Healthy. So who doesn't remember getting lunch at school and it being all unhealthy? I remember eating pizza and giant cookies and those weird microwave burritos. I was all over all that food and stuff like that. So even though we're not in high school, elementary school anymore, it still affects us all daily, and that's because the kids now are our future, which is all cheesy, I know, but it's true. So we need to nourish their bodies and brains properly for them to reach their full potential and do what's best for this country. So throughout my research, I looked at articles from Huffington Post, USDA, New York Times, and the Food and Nutrition Services website. So the subject is interesting to me because I was a nutrition major, and even though it's no longer my subject of study, it's still a passion of mine. And for one of our assignments, we had to go to a school and observe school lunches, and it was just interesting to see all like the kids throw away the food that they had because they didn't like it. So students spend a majority of their day at school, and when they are fed unhealthy or unsatisfying meals, they cannot reach their full potential. So throughout my speech, I'm going to talk about school lunches throughout the years, what it looks like today, and how it can be changed and what it means to opt out of government funding. So not only has education changed throughout the years, but so has the lunches. So in 1966, the Child Nutrition Act was passed. According to an article by the USDA, written by Gordon Gunderson in 2014, the purpose of the act is to encourage the domestic consumption of agriculture and other foods by assisting states through grant aids and other means to meet more effectively the nutritional needs of our children. So years ago, school lunches had sugary sodas, hamburger, french fries, all that fried food, and all in really large portions. But now it's stuff like, it's no fried food and whatnot, but it's smaller portions, but kids these days are more obese than ever before, so how is that possible? Well, since the lunches are smaller, kids are spending more money on snack food, which is a lot of sugary, salty foods, and so it's like cookies and ice cream and other healthy stuff for them to get full off the small lunches. So according to the National School Lunch Program website, it's a program that's federally assisted and operates in over 100,000 public school and non-private schools. So schools are given money from the government, and they're told to follow specific guidelines. The guidelines are 825 calories, less than 30% fat, less than 10% saturated fat, 16 grams of protein, 400 milligrams calcium, 4.5 milligrams iron, 300 milligrams vitamin A, and 18 milligrams vitamin C. So these guidelines are very difficult to follow and are very, very narrow guidelines. So from this picture, yeah, it makes me like that's enough food for an elementary school student, but looking at the big picture, it's not enough. It doesn't always do the trick. So children need fuel to grow, and when you think about student athletes who are working out, they don't work out before school, after school, and they need more food than this. So they need food that will keep them going through these workouts. So in this map, you can see the states that participate most in government funding. The darker states are the ones with the higher percentage, and the lighter ones are with the lesser percentage. As you can see, the southern states with the higher rates of obesity have the most participation. So what can be done to fix this problem? You're probably thinking nothing because this is a government program, but schools have the option of opting out of funding. So Gary Lewis is the superintendent from Draper Middle School in Rotterdam, New York. In 2013, Mr. Lewis said that while government funding meals, the district saw a 10 to 12% drop in lunch sales, translating to $30,000 lost in a single year. So this story of a school and middle school is the story of all schools around the country. And because so much money is being lost, schools are deciding to opt out of the government lunch programs. Caroline Thompson wrote an article for the Huffington Post in 2013 about different schools opting out of the program. So according to this article, districts that leave the program are free to develop any guidelines that they want to follow. So this means that schools can serve what students want and will eat. So while I was doing my observations at Wiley High School, She explained that the students were not liking the food that the government were giving them. It wasn't like satisfying enough and it wasn't tasting good. And so she explained that they're going to opt out this upcoming year, and by doing so they make more home-cooked meals, more fresh meals, rather than getting the frozen meals that the government was sending them. And they'll be able to fill up students and give them what they want. So the only downside of this is, like I said, it's a government program, and they're not going to get funding for it. So depending on a student's financial situation, they either are on free, reduced, or full price meals. Free meals, for every free meal a school sells, they get $2.93 from the government. Reduced meals get $2.53, and full price meals they get 28 cents. So without this government funding, they're going to need to get money from themselves. So looking at an entire year's worth of lunches sold, it can add up to a lot of money, but looking at the big picture, it saves them a lot of money and it makes the students happy. While at Wiley, it was refreshing to see the passion that the food director had for a job and students. She said that I'm here for the students, and if I can make them happy, I'm doing what I'm here to do. And like I said, food plays a big role in a child's development, and they need to be fed healthy, filling options. So students spend a majority of their day at school, and when they're fed unhealthy or unsatisfying meals, they cannot reach their full potential. You may not have a child right now, but you will most likely someday. So personally, I want to know that while at school, they are not only getting good education, but they're also being fed healthy, satisfying food. So I hope that this speech got you